So I've been using the iPhone 13 mini as my main phone for almost half a year now. At this point, the phone is over 4 years old, but it's still usable in 2026. Now, as you know, the main problem people have with the 13 mini is that the battery is small. But after actually living with this phone for over half a year, I think most people might be wrong. And by the end of this video, you'll know if this phone is still good for you in 2026, or if you should avoid it. Now, for context, before I was using the regular iPhone 13, and it was just fine in my everyday life. So obviously the 13 mini is still usable, since it's basically the same phone. It's still usable and runs smoothly even with iOS 26.3. But you might wonder why I switched to the mini. The main reason at the start was its size, since it was big, 6.1 inches, and I didn't realize how annoying that actually was until I switched. Because like when I would sit down, the phone would press into my leg because it was in my pocket like tightly, and that was a big issue for me because I work a full-time job in retail and I need to move a lot because I stack boxes, stack shelves, and I need to crouch all the time, and the phone really was uncomfortable for me. So I decided to try something different and switch to the iPhone 13 mini. And here's what was different. The first thing I noticed was obviously the size. Going from a 6.1 inch screen to a 5.4 inch screen, I think. The phone felt weird because it was so small. The biggest advantage for me was comfort. When I sit down, it doesn't dig into my leg. It doesn't feel like I'm carrying a brick in my pocket. It was just comfortable. And I noticed something, since the phone is so small, any other phones start feeling huge. And I think like, how do people even use these? Like, they don't fit in my hand. They're too big. I will talk a bit about the performance. For normal stuff, social media, YouTube, messaging, browsing, it's smooth. Apps open fast, scrolling is fine, and I almost never feel like the phone is slow. It doesn't feel like an old phone in daily use at all, even though it's already 4 years old, over 4 years old. Now for the biggest issue, let's talk about the battery. My battery health is currently at 73%, which is not great. And yes, it's a small phone, so the battery was never amazing to begin with. But here's the surprising part. It still gets me through the day. Not a heavy day with gaming or filming, but a normal day easily. The only times I need to charge are in the evenings. It gets me through the full day. And the other downside of it is the screen. It's 60 Hz. But I don't really need 120 Hz on my phone, so it doesn't matter to me at all. The camera is still great. Not 2026 flagship great, but it's still really good for photos and videos. For social media, memories, and normal use, it's more than enough. The weird thing is, this phone actually made me enjoy using my phone more. It's smaller, simpler, less distracting. It feels like a tool, less like a portable iPad in my pocket. And it made me realize the modern phones have kind of become boring. They're all huge, at least over 6 inches. They all look the same. They all do the same things, and this phone feels different. So let me give you some advice before getting the 13 mini. If you want to watch videos or other forms of media, no, don't get it. The battery won't hold up. That's the main issue, and the screen is not great. 60 Hz, small screen, 5.4 inches. Just don't. But what I noticed is, if you want to take a little bit more control over your life, then you should definitely get it. This phone changed my outlook on what a smartphone really is. It's a tool to make your life a little better. So yeah, this phone is still holding up, and I will be keeping this phone for as long as it is usable.